Welcome to the University of South Carolina College of Pharmacy podcast. As we celebrate all veterans during November, we especially salute all our alumni, donors, friends, students, faculty, and staff who have served in the armed forces. One of our current students, Noah Raganschmalz, is a 10-year veteran of the U.S. Navy. We wanted to learn more about how Noah came to the USC College of Pharmacy.
Originally, I was born in California. I still have a little bit of family out there as well, but I grew up in the Dallas area. Really awesome place to grow up. Texas is it's fun. It's a really interesting place. You meet a lot of different people from a lot of different paths. So lived there from about when I was 5 until I joined the Navy when I was 20. So got to go out to school there for a little bit, but then joined the Navy in 2011. I'm actually a third generation in my family. My grandfather, he served during World War II, and then my aunt, she actually retired as a Master Chief Corpsman. She was in Desert Storm. She had a lot of different experiences, and when she actually found out I was joining, she freaked out a little bit, and she's like, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?" And I said, "Yeah, I really think I could use the structure, and I want to kind of learn and get to see a little bit of the world and get that." You learn a lot of lessons in the Navy, and I wanted to experience that. I actually joined an engineering field, which she didn't know a lot about. So I was on submarines. I was a nuclear electrician in the Pacific Fleet.
What is life like in the Navy?
It's a lot of adapting, a lot of change on a continual basis. Really interesting. Like, you're never bored, with the exception of when you're on watch sometimes. But they definitely keep you busy. You're constantly being challenged with new activities and new jobs. You're forced to take on a lot of different things that you're just not familiar with, and you kind of have to learn as you go. I was in a crew of 120 different individuals, and you don't always have the people to cover all the jobs that you deal with on board. So like you kind of learn as you go, and you get to experience a lot of different things.
Describe what it's like to be on a submarine.
I get that question a lot. You get used to it. You get in a rhythm. I was on a fast attack submarine, so one of the smaller ones. Our deployment length would typically be anywhere from 3 months to 7 months, but you're not underwater that entire time. Like, you do get to see sunlight occasionally. We do have to stop and get food and stuff like that, but there is periods where you'll go 2 to 3 weeks, and like, you're trying to email people, and you don't get to hear from anybody because you're under quite a bit of water. It takes a while to get used to, but then once you get used to it, you get a really good rhythm, and yeah, you make some really good friends.
You've had the opportunity to travel the world and see so many things. How did you decide to pursue a career in pharmacy?
I've actually always been interested in pharmacy. I was a pharmacy tech right out of high school. I've always been really interested in being in a health science career. I wanted to stay in the Navy for a little while to kind of achieve the goals I had set out for myself in the Navy, but I knew I always wanted to get back to pharmacy. So as soon as I started planning to get out, I started setting up my 3 and my 5-year plan. Like, I'm going to work for a little while, save up some money so that I don't have those financial pressures on me while I'm in school, and was fortunate enough that we were able to move back here, and I got to get to apply and go to an excellent school like South Carolina.
What did you find attractive about the College of Pharmacy at USC?
I got a call as soon as we moved down here, pretty much, and they were like, "We have availability if you'd like to come to school," because I still was pursuing my undergrad at the time. And got a call from them, got acquainted with their VA office, who's amazing here. The veterans assets at the school are top notch. And that was a part of my decision process to come here, was just that the veterans outreach and the programs they have here are so much better than a lot of the other schools that I've experienced. After going to school here as an undergrad for a year and a half, I told one of my interviewers when I was applying for pharmacy school that South Carolina kind of feels like home to me now. And it really does. Like, I feel very much at home on campus. I love it here. It just, everything meshes up well with me.
And it seems as though that family feel is something that's important to you.
It definitely is something that is very important to me because, I mean, I've spent the last, my previous almost 10 years of my life, you're serving in close quarters with people that, even if you normally wouldn't have been friends with those people or like had associated with them, you get to know them very well, and you depend on those people on a daily basis, and you develop those type of relationships, and you kind of assess everything after that based off of those relationships, and you definitely get a feel for when something's right or when it's not right. And it just, as soon as I joined the university and started going to class here, the boxes just started to get checked one after another, and I was like, maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be at.
Tell us what it's been like in your first year as a pharmacy student.
I'm not going to say it hasn't been stressful. It's definitely a lot of schedule juggling, and I'm involved with other organizations, and I've had the opportunity to join 2 professional organizations while starting pharmacy school. So it is a lot of planning, and I'm an older student. I have a home life. I have 2 dogs and a partner at home that I have to juggle with that too. So it's a lot of scheduling, but I've really enjoyed it. My classes are really interesting, and the professors do a really good job of applying the material to real world scenarios and making it approachable and making it something that you can be interested in.
As someone who's already had a professional career, then entering college as an undergrad, and now moving into a professional degree program, how does that past experience help you?
I think it's very beneficial. I actually really like to talk about this topic because when I first started going to school, being an older student, I was a little bit uncomfortable. Like there were days where I was like, man, I'm in a classroom full of people that are 10 years younger than me. And you like think about your life choices and stuff. And I read this book, and one of the tips in the book said that if you're uncomfortable, that means that you're experiencing growth. And I really liked that sentiment. And I remind myself a lot about that, is because if I'm in a situation where, I am a little bit uncomfortable, or I'm kind of questioning like, hey, maybe is this the right decision? It probably means you're doing the right thing because you are challenging yourself. So I do think, though, being an older student, I've had a lot of experiences that I can draw off of, a lot of habits that I've developed that have helped me study and develop like a successful routine. As somebody that's a little bit older, you're set up for success in that regard because you probably already developed those practices, just being an adult and paying bills and just living an adult life. But don't be hesitant to try it just because you're a little bit uncomfortable.
What advice do you have for someone who's considering making a move in their professional career?
It's not something to be done lightly. Make sure that you're in a situation that supports that. I'm blessed that my family and my support net allows for me to come to school and to pursue that education. I definitely feel like it is something that you should do, though, if you want to do it. Explore new opportunities. I liked engineering. I just realized, though, that it's not what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, and that it is, a lot of the jobs in it are very geographically constrained, and I wanted something that opened it up so that my family could move where they wanted to if they wanted to. And I definitely do recommend it, though. Like I said, just make sure that you have a good plan for it. Don't be scared to make changes.
Now that you've had a little bit of a taste of pharmacy school, do you have any thoughts about any particular field you might want to pursue?
Most of my experience so far is with retail. I have really enjoyed it. It's fast-paced. It keeps you busy. I've never had 9 hours probably go by as quick as they do in the pharmacy that I work at. I am kind of still leaving it as an option, but with a lot of the stuff that I'm learning in class, I think that I'm kind of feeling a little bit of a pull towards either clinical. I'd be really interested in getting involved with the VA and kind of being able to give back in that capacity. I've heard lots of good things about the VA system and pharmacist's role in that, and you can be involved with projects that you can't be involved with anywhere else in a clinical capacity in the VA system. I am interested in industry a little bit as well.
As we wrap up our conversation, I want to thank you for sharing your experiences with the College of Pharmacy with us, and we're grateful to you for your service to the nation. What does it mean to you to be a veteran?
When I first joined the military, you have people thank you for your service. And at first, I was always very apprehensive about accepting that thanks and that gratitude because I didn't feel like I had done a lot yet. Even people that just serve out an initial enlistment or are in for a little while, you don't realize the sacrifices that you're making at the time. The holidays, the contact with your family, the friends that you're not able to spend time with or go to birthdays for. And I had weddings and births and things that I've missed. And it definitely is something that I cherish very dearly, that I got the opportunity to serve and that now I'm getting to pursue my education as a veteran. It definitely gives me a perspective on things that I would not trade for anything. And I'm very glad that I got the opportunity to serve and would encourage those to do so as well if they're thinking about it.